Welcome to the Coaching Collective podcast, episode 8. Today we are entertained by George Osborne, a competitive bodybuilder, YouTuber, and influencer located in northern UK. Without further ado, George, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Boys, first of all, absolute pleasure. I know you boys have got up nice and early. I can see you fresh out of bed faces.
Yep.
I appreciate you getting up so early to do the podcast. But yeah, thank you for having me on. I hate these sort of questions when people tell me talk about myself because I'm like, literally, what the fuck do I say? But I've been in the field now, the bodybuilding scene, for about 7 years. I first started at 17 when I was going to university. I studied personal training and fitness management at university. I wanted to own a gym, and I went to uni and then ended up not wanting to own a gym by the end of it. So I then came out of that. I started YouTube during that time. I was thinking, right, where can I find a gap in the market with what's going on in YouTube at the moment? And no one at the time was doing much like sort of student budget stuff whilst bodybuilding. So I did like a video. I was like, right, let's just film what I do at the shops. And all of a sudden, my first video got like 150,000 views or something like that at the moment. And I was like, right, okay. And then people started subscribing, and then all of a sudden, I was putting a lot more focus into my YouTube than I was my uni work. Everyone was doing their uni work. I'll just sit there edit fucking YouTube videos, and then from there, I thought, right, what am I going to do with my sort of degree? Because I didn't want to get into personal training. I actually failed my personal training course at uni because they told me how to use a rowing machine. And I was thinking at the time, because I was so like ahead of the time, I was like, I don't know, they just get on it and use it. I don't need to tell someone how to use a rowing machine because there's certain techniques. And then I thought, right, I don't want to be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? So I reached out on Instagram. I had a couple of thousand followers at the time, and on YouTube as well. I was like, right, I'm looking for 10 clients to take on for free. Took on 10 clients in the first like day. Yeah, it was hard for the first like 5-6 months because I worked from the bottom. I've had no support from my family, no support from anyone else. I just did it from scratch. But I was so determined to kind of do and work for myself that I thought I'm not willing to. I worked in a supermarket, a food shop, when I was at uni, and I hated putting money into other people's pockets. People telling me what to do. I was thinking, someone told me what to do. I think, fuck off, don't tell me what to do. And I absolutely hated it.
This makes two of
So
us. Yeah.
that motivated me to just work for myself. And now, I graduated from uni 5 years ago now, this year. I've been full time since probably then. I've not ever got a job, from uni. I've not ever really used my degree, and I've been able to level my business up through coaching, my YouTube, my Instagram, and just by being me, being real, being honest, and finding that sort of gap in the market that I think a lot of people miss. And I was thinking when I finished uni, I was thinking, right, what do I do now? Because I've lost that sort of selling point for myself. So then I got into competitive bodybuilding and I started competing, and then all of a sudden I fell in love and passion for competing, and then I'm here today. That's where I am. That's how it started.
150K on the YouTube's not bad for the first video, eh?
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't expect it to happen, if I'm honest with you. It was the worst video ever. It was like, those ones where you put so much effort into making a video and it never does well. This video was just a few clips put together. Didn't expect anything from it really well. It's just one of those ones.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
I've always wanted. Do you edit your own videos?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Really? You do such a good job of them.
I appreciate. I've actually found a big passion for it as well. Like I've fell in love with editing. Like I get really like creative in the gym. I'm like, right, I'm going to set my camera up like this. I plan it in my head what I'm going to do in terms of my record. I got really into it. It's weird.
Yeah. No, that's cool as fuck. Yeah, because I always, whenever I watch your videos, I think, fuck, these must take him forever. Like I don't know how he manages it.
Yeah, they do. I do
How
sometimes. If I probably about 4 or 5 hours worth of sitting down, really looking through it.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, I do sometimes get a videographer to record the gym side of things for me, just to kind of save me time editing that and recording. Because you know what it's like, boys, when you have to film yourself in the gym, and then you have to go edit it, and it's like, if only someone could make my day a little bit more efficient. So I found that expense that I was putting into a videographer, I was actually able to make more money with that time that I would spend editing that part of the video, So if anything, it felt like I was spending a lot of money, but I was actually making it back through the free time I had.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes those investments, especially early doors, are quite hard to take. But further down the line, they're actually quite rewarding, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I was gonna say as well, with a lot of the content, it's like I feel like it's just a lot of the stuff that you do put out, especially YouTube wise, it's just very raw. Like I feel like you don't really have a filter, to be honest with you,
No,
which is good.
no. People tell
That's
me,
what you
I
want
swear
from people.
I actually got into your stuff more recently than James. Like James has been watching your shit for years. And I remember the first few videos, I was like, fuck, I like this cunt. Like it's just because you're you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like just very relatable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's the problem that I see nowadays is everyone does TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. But what really sets people apart, I think, nowadays is their personality. You've got to add something different. And I've always said, like, I'm not, and I've met so many of these influencers, and they have a different, like, do you know Jesse James West?
Yeah.
James, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the same gym training with Eddie Hall, and they were recording videos together. I was like, what the fuck? Like Eddie Hall and Jesse James are in the same facility as me. This is crazy. But what you see behind those cameras is fucking so fake. It is so fake. Jesse, I was watching his video the other day. The editing that makes the video so good, but him as a person behind that camera is, you know, it's a very quiet person. He's not as he is in, you know, on the videos that you watch. And me, I kind of want to get what you see, you know, in me. Like I will be honest, I'm not here to be everyone's favorite YouTuber. Some people are going to like me. Some people, unfortunately, are going to hate me. It's a part of it. But, you know, I've always stayed true to myself. And I think that's one thing that is an advantage. Sometimes it's my disadvantage. I do get myself in trouble with some things that I say. But like I said, I'm not here to please everyone in that respect.
Yeah. Do you ever get in trouble with your missus for some of the shit you say?
Not like I know it will like what's the word I'm looking for here? I know people get a little bit triggered by it if I say something. That's why I keep it a little bit PG now. Because I think I ain't got no point. It's just drama that I don't need at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
I know what you mean.
I have done in the past. I have done in the past for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like now, obviously, with the assisted route, like you don't see many people. Obviously, it's a lot more open now when they talk about assistants compared to 5 years ago. No one said what they're on.
Oh man, we were
we had a podcast last night and we were speaking about that.
Yeah, with a guy from here, Johnny. He was saying, so what happened to him was when he's 33 now. I'm 28, so I would have been 19 at the time. He got caught, like he would claim natty, and he got like people were calling him out and stuff like that. And the amount of drama that caused like 8 years ago was like crazy. Like it forced him to go off social media and everything.
Wow.
And then now he comes on and says, I'm taking this, I'm taking this. And people are like, fuck yeah, Johnny. But like 8 years ago, it was like to the point where like he was like depressed and suicidal.
Did you see
how much? Yeah.
Have you seen that video, Michael?
Nah.
It's like it's like the video's so old. It's like recorded on a Nokia and it's at like some fit expo here.
Oh, I do remember it.
And it's like some guy going up to him, taking a photo with him. He's like, "You're natural, yeah?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm natural. And he's like, "Nah, that's not what we've heard." Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
And it's like now, it's like this bloke could be recording him and he'd tell him straight to his camera at this expo what he's on.
Are you natural? Nah, man, I'm on 300 test. Yeah, like no.
You have to send that through to me. I'll have a little watch.
You know what though? The new fake natty, they just undershoot their stack.
You know what? Since I've been down this route, I can tell straight away whether someo's enhanced or not.
Oh, me too.
Straight away. When I was natural, I was like, could be, might not be. But now I just look at the delts. What's going on here? Look at their skin. Compare them, like, you know, in their off seasons versus their diets, compared to them when they're on. You can tell when someone's on cycle versus when someone's not on cycle.
Oh, 100%.
You can just be around someone. You can just tell by, for example, I used to train with Kuba a few times. I could tell when Kuba is using Tren. I could tell straight away when he's using Tren because he would be like this. He'd fucking snap quickly. So in prep, I used to, when I was prepping as well, I'd stay away from him during certain moments because I knew he'd be fucking on it. So you kind of tell when some people are on it or not now. But I certainly know way more now than what I did 6 months ago, for sure. Just by looking at someone, I'm like, yeah, he's on it.
Yeah, 100%. So with your bodybuilding, obviously you started off as natural as well, and you were coached by AJ. James is coached by AJ as well. Yeah. Do you want to run us through a bit of that? A little bit, maybe, probably, I guess the bodybuilding and then a little bit about AJ as well, your experience there, etc.
Sure. So I was in natural bodybuilding for 7 years. I competed twice. I competed after 4 years of training. Usually that's what I recommend to people straight away. Like, just don't be step on a stage a year into your lifting journey. You're not going to have as much muscle. And when you do diet down naturally, you know, consequently, you'll then realize the harsh reality of you don't have as much muscle as what you think. In fact, sometimes it's an illusion to think that you have more muscle. So I did my first season in 2019. I knew AJ. We actually followed each other randomly on Instagram. And I've got a lot of credit for AJ because he's massively helped me with my coaching business. There's a podcast, I think from 4 years ago, where I came on AJ's podcast and asked him questions about online coaching. You just type in George Osborne, AJ Morris, online coaching. It'll come up with a podcast asking very basic, shitty questions. And he massively invested into that because he did a podcast. He helped me out for about 40 minutes. I was like, right, okay, I like this guy. I like what he looks like. I'm going to invest into him. So in 2018, I started working with him. Worked with him for a little bit in the off season. Then we went into prep. Had a very long prep, like a 39-week prep in 2019. I was in the trenches. I was fucked, absolutely fucked from that. But did pretty well. I think I placed top 3 most of my shows. Didn't win a show that year. I was pretty pissed off with that, but it is what it was. And I just over dieted towards the end and, you know, just lost myself. Then after that, I did a 2.5-year off season. So that was hard because that was during lockdown and the uncertainty of that. And I lost a little bit of motivation, training out at home, that sort of shit. And then we competed again last year in 2022. And I still worked with AJ in that time. I think committing to someone and being loyal to someone because AJ knew me. I knew AJ outside the gym. You know, we used to I stay around his, used to go cinema. We obviously trained. He was a best friend as well as a business mentor and a coach as well. So I then obviously, you know, did the season last year, won a show, placed top 3 in Britain, which I was really happy about. And I then started working with AJ in my off season as well. And I said to him, look, I'm going to work with Cal Rayshrit from the Pro Coach. I said, look, he's going to do the assisted side of things. We'll stick to the training and nutrition because AJ's known me for 4 years now. Did get a little bit complicated over time. And I was thinking, I'm telling AJ this, Cal's telling me this. It's just too much. Like, what the fuck do I do? So I said, right, I'm not necessarily complete natural bodybuilding because I never thought like I got to a point where I was happy. I was just like, right, I'm ready to move on from that. And that's when I was like to AJ, it's really hard for me to do this because I know AJ was quite upset about it and I was very upset about it. And, you know, I was like, right, the time was to move on. And I said to him, look, thank you for everything you've done. And, you know, this is nothing against him at all, or anything like that. It's just, I'm just going to commit to one coach now rather than juggling the sort of 2. So yeah, that was kind of where I'm at. And obviously now I competed in October. And then what's it, March now? So that's what, 5 months now, off season, pretty much. It's pretty good. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Because
totally
worth it.
I don't know what the question was.
I can't remember either. Not to disclose your blood work, but I'm pretty sure Cal mentioned when we were in Dubai that after your natural prep, your test didn't come back for like 9 months.
Yeah.
Was that right? Yeah.
In 2019, I dug myself so fucking deep into a hole. Long story short, I was ready to. You see photos about 12 weeks out from my first show. I could probably step on stage and look fairly good. Yeah. I then obviously dieted down more for another. I think it was another. Must have been 20 plus weeks, and staying in that condition for a long time took me fucking. When I finished my prep, it took me about 8-9 months to fully recover from that prep, which is fucked. And I felt, I generally was, I felt like I never recovered from that prep fully. I feel like I wasn't that 20-year-old kid anymore, you know. I felt completely different hormonally. This time around, I obviously used the assistant side of things. I recovered in 2 weeks. I was fine after 2 weeks. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Because, you know, it's like dieting and getting really lean and coming out of that. It's fucking hard. It is hard. But when that assistance went in, 2 weeks, totally fine. Did my blood work after 4 weeks, and I went from 3 nanomoles, which was equivalent to like an 11-year-old child by the end of prep, up to 39 nanomoles. So actually surpassed the physiological range with TRT. And was 10 times higher than what I was at the back end of prep. So in 2 weeks, I went up about 10 times my normal testosterone. So you can imagine from one extreme to the other.
The recovery is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Man,
it's also
crazy.
It's just crazy to think as well that like people think that natural bodybuilding is so safe when I feel like it actually isn't at all. Like it's not good. It's not good for you at all.
No,
Like, don't get me wrong. Like gear usage, like hit and miss. But at the same time, it's like natural bodybuilding long term, I feel like can get very, very dangerous. And especially when you have people that do it. Look, admittedly, most people that are doing it back to back years probably aren't. Oh, I don't know. It depends. Aren't probably getting in stage condition to an extent unless they're a pro. But at the same time, yeah, it's so not safe for the endocrine system. It's so fucked. Like
absolutely, massively agree. And I try and, like I say, I'd say to people sometimes, like don't compete. Like just enjoy the training aspect of things, enjoy the lifestyle. If you want to compete, fair play, like challenge yourself in a different way, but don't because it does. And as well as that, it'll ruin relationships. There's so many more things that it potentially can ruin. And for me, yeah, like I said, I never really recovered. It took a long time for me to feel normal again, which is a concern. And in my off season before that, I did my bloods and I was like 13 nanomoles. So my testosterone has never been crazy high. But what does concern me is when you have individuals who have generally lower testosterone prep, you're only fucking yourself up more and more and more. And people that live their lives with low testosterone, all these symptoms of, how I felt the back end of prep, people live that for the rest of their lives without even knowing. And that is concerning because that's not how life should be. It really should be. Because I've got to the other, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I look back at 2 weeks, I was like, that I look back at photos now, I think that's that guy. When I was like walking around looking like that, feeling like that, that's not normal at all. It is scary. It is really, really scary.
You don't really realize how you're feeling as well until you're out of it.
Better. Yeah.
Because like even going through like post-cycle phases in the past, like you sort of feel like you're normal at the time, and then you look back and you're like no. Yeah. I remember going through like months without like a sex drive at all. And then like now I look back and I'm thinking, Jesus, how did I think that was normal? But you just don't, you guess you just normalize mentally over time as well. And you just think, this is the way it is. Yeah.
And it's that goal. It's that goal. You're so focused on that goal, like you're willing to do whatever for that goal. And it is a very selfish thing to do. Like I would much rather go to bed, eat my meals on time, than have sex with my missus. Yeah, and that's fucked. That's not right, But in those moments, you're willing to do whatever it takes,
Yeah, no, because I did my first show. So I never competed naturally. My first show was enhanced at 24. But like to be fair, I used to diet down hard when I was younger, and I remember by the end of it, I couldn't even get my dick up. But it didn't even cross my mind that was a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because to me, it was just like, I'm shredded, I'm dieting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then like something would happen, go away for the summer, whatever else. And then I'd be like, oh, where are you? you're not working. Or I just think, like the boys would be all excited to go out, and I'd be like it would just like not faze me. You know what I mean by go out. Yeah. And I'd just be like, like I didn't think that we'd be doing that, but okay, yeah.
I mean, I absolutely agree. Like I sit back and I think, fuck, like even I know this is a deep topic, but at the age of me being at 24, 25 at the time, I'm not able to get a boner. That's fucking concerning. That's concerning. I should be in the performance of my life right now. If I was 18, fair play, I understand. But 25, 24, and I've not got a sex drive and I can't get a boner regardless of what's going on, that's an issue. That's a big issue. I remember being 16 and as soon as someone touched it, it's off,
Yeah.
Only a little brush like this is just
it's like you used to get worried. You used to get worried that it would go up at the wrong times when you're that age. It's like someone
back when you was in your classroom at the back of the fucking classroom,
I know,
back corner,
looking down like, God, I need to put it in the band,
the waistband. Fuck me.
How'd you go with like going from natural to enhanced? Like, what's your goal in going enhanced anyway?
I would love to be an IFBB Pro, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do I think I would achieve that? I'm very realistic. Maybe, maybe not. It's all really comes down to the reality is, unfortunately, how far are you willing to take it, you know? Are you willing to take the risk? Because there will be there's an element of pushing, you know, it's just down to whether you want to do that with your life, your choices. And I think at the moment, I think the main thing that I've learned so far is that, you know, I'm in no rush to do that. I think the common mistake that I see, because I was telling Cal previously, I was like, oh, can't wait to start pushing the gear, pushing this. For what? Like, for what? What do I need to for? Like, my testosterone is the highest it's ever been in my whole lifting journey, 3 times higher than what it was when I was natural. Obviously, prep is fun. I'm gonna make fucking progress. And I saw John Jewett actually posted this on my story. John Jewett made a post about how you'll be surprised with how much little you can get away with. And for me, like, I'm in no rush. Like, whether it's 5 years or whatever, then it's a 5-year plan. I don't necessarily need to turn pro next year or chase down that card in a year or two. You know, I'm not willing to risk that so far. You know, I'm very sort of, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to do it safely and educate people the right way. You don't need to push drugs. You know, you don't need to. If your training's going well, if you're feeling great, if you're recovering good, eating decent, you're going to grow. You know, and so many people are just too impatient. You know, they just want to go, right, I'm going to add another 50 meg and another 50 meg the week after that. And I think, for what? Great, you've played your cycle. You've introduced this amount, and you know there's cycle progressions involved, right? If you use X amount, you're going to need more further down the line. It's basically like it's like anything, you know. Get the most out of what you can. It's like cardio, for example. Start off with the least amount possible, get the most out of it until you exhaust it, and then add more in. Right? That's how the drugs works as well. But some people start off way too early, I'm no expert on this shit. This is just from my experience so far, really.
Yeah, of course. So
Oh, you
go. Come on, you go. No, you go.
No, I was going to say because it might be off topic. So you go.
No, I was going to say, what you're just on test and Provarin at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah. So I started off with 150 meg of testy and 25 Provarin each day. It's not changed.
Really?
Yeah.
So you haven't changed that at all?
No, not at all. The logic, the reasoning behind that is exactly what I said. Like, for the next year, I could stay on this and make more progress than what I've ever made in the past 7 years. Highest my testosterone. I've just come out of prep. I've utilized, you know, everything. Like it doesn't take away from my fundamental basics, which are my training, my nutrition, supplements, all that sort of good stuff, stress management. Like, why do I need to go, oh yeah, I've gone up to 200. I'm going to make progress more. I'm going to make progress much quicker, of course. But I could probably make that progress it probably may take me 6 months, for example, to make the same progress. And great, I've used an extra 50 meg, and now I'm having this side effect, that side effect. Right now, I'm having fuck all. I'm on TRT. I'm not having whatever whatsoever. So for me, like, it goes back. It's playing that long game. You know, there will be a point, obviously, where it will have to go up. But right now, in my head, it just doesn't make sense when, you know, I'm utilizing that post prep phase. I'm lighter than what I was. I'm not the heaviest yet, but I'm lighter than what I was before. I'm much stronger than what I was naturally at my heaviest. I'm going to make progress, you know. Food's in a good spot. Everything else in a good spot. You know, I'm still in that sort of novel phase of adding, you know, 10 kilos to exercise sometimes when it's there, you know, and I can just do it and it's just there. And yeah, it's something that I just don't want to take away from, as weird as it sounds, take away from what I did as a natural, and that is my ability to work hard, my ability to do whatever's needed in the gym, to nail my food every single day, to sleep, keep on top of that, manage my stress management. The steroids is just a sprinkle of, it's just this icing on the cake. It doesn't take away from what I do. I don't need to then go, I'm taking more drugs. No, it's not me. It's not how I want to do things. It's not how I want to present it either. It's so easy. I must admit, boys, I know I'm waffling here. I've ate shit and I woke up next day. When I was natural, if I ate shit, I'd woke up looking like a fat fucking mess. I've ate shit, woke up the next day, I'm fucking lean, pumped, full, brimmed, ready to go. When you take steroids, you can get away with taking and eat shit if you really want to. And still, that's why you see so many people look so great and they eat shit all the time. I don't want that taken away from the fundamental basics of what I love doing. Is I don't like going off plan. I like to stick to what I fucking know because it works, and just doing that for as long as I can. So yeah, I'm a bit boring when it comes to that side of things. I haven't tested any other drugs, but that's not how I want to do things, or not necessarily promote things, but showcase things. So I don't promote steroids at all.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. No, admittedly, like when you said that about the food stuff, I feel like that's individual as well. Some guys, it swings the other way. It's like they look worse when they run and they eat shit. But but it just comes down to it's just their response, man. If you're out of shape and you jump on something, typically I feel like it forces you further out of shape. Mostly probably just due to estro conversion and thing like that. It's just almost like everything's amplified. I'm talking out of shape, not just holding a bit of body fat. But admittedly as well, the best I've felt is on TRT. I feel the best on a high TRT, which was like 130, 140 was high for me. I think that pulled out like probably like free test reading. I'm just trying to think of your units. Would be like 880. So like 35. Yeah.
35, that's good.
Yeah, I remember I got the labs. Yeah, that was amazing. Range. The only thing with that was it was pushing my estrogen higher, so my libido was quite average. But like to be fair, that was quite channeling. It was nice.
Yeah,
it made me focused. Yeah, it made me focused.
Yeah. It's, I must admit, with that side of things, going from prep to then going in off season, it's pretty fucking. It was great to begin with. It was pretty crazy at the time. I was like, I could do this straight away.
Yeah, Provarin helps too.
Yeah, Provarin definitely helped. I noticed the random boners. That's what I noticed straight away. That just any place, like being a kid again.
The only problem with Provarin here is it's fake a lot and it's expensive. Very expensive. Very, very expensive.
It's fairly cheap over here.
Yeah, no, I've heard here like you're not gonna find it. People be like, I got Provarin. I'm like, you probably just have like fucking lollies. Yeah, like there's no way unless you're getting it from a clinic. That'd be about it. Yeah. No, cool. Did you have any doubts or anything going down that route though?
I was gonna say, what was your biggest challenge going into that?
Just like, this is I'm an overthinker. I'm not just someone that just goes, fuck it, we'll do this and have a laugh a bit. Like it blows my mind with some people and what they do. I was sitting there like, when the needles and the oil was in front of me and all this sort of stuff, I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, heart was sinking. I'm like, fuck, like this is reality, because I've like playing with it in my head, toying with the idea about doing it. But then when it came down to reality, fuck. So I sort of thought about it for a couple of days before I did it. It was in my cupboard and I was looking at it every single day. It was looking at me. I was thinking, fucking, what should I do? And then after a while, I think for me, it's like, okay, if I'm doing this, I might be changing my life for good. I need to take into consideration I've got a partner. A lot's going to change in that respect. I need to think about when I travel as well. There's so many things to think about when it comes to doing that sort of thing. Obviously, I was a little bit apprehensive about, injecting. Am I doing it right? How do I do this? I've been watching videos on this sort of shit. All this sort of mental preparation just going down, and then it's like, oh, that it. It's like that. It was like, okay, that it. The only doubts that I did have, and looking back now as I'm in more of a better headspace, is I started literally about 3-4 days after I finished prep. So it was literally the get-go.
Yeah.
I think looking back now, the thing that I wish I did is I wish I waited probably a couple of weeks, if not probably a month. And the reason why I wish I did that is I would have been in a much better headspace, because I've gone from one extreme to the other, which a lot for people to deal with around me. My girlfriend, who saw George, who had no life to him whatsoever, has then obviously seen the George which has brought out a different side to him, and the issue that I had was I was allowing that to sort of be the main focus in my life. So I started documenting on YouTube. YouTube all of a sudden is getting 100k views on videos, these videos are banging. I'm earning way more money on YouTube than I've ever earned. I'm like, this is like turning into a full job. I was like obsessed about it. I forgot about my core, which is my partner, who's helped and supported me massively throughout my prep. She was there when I was at my lowest. She helped sort the dogs out whatever I needed, she did that. And I massively neglected that. And I started kind of replacing her with like the steroids and focusing more on that, because that was giving me the high and I was feeling on top of the world. Sessions are going great, all this sort of energy that I had. So looking back, I think I wish I gave it a little bit more time. got into a better headspace and made that decision there rather than going, right, I'm finishing prep, I'm going straight on cycle or TRT. Yeah, it's an intro, and that had an effect on her. And I look back and, you know, I did become quite cocky. I did become, you know, all the traditional stuff that does come with feeling good when you do start a cycle. You do get a bit more, it just exaggerates you as a person. If you're a cunt, you're going to be a bigger cunt. If you're cocky, confident, you're going to be more cocky, confident, you know. I'm quite a confident person, I'd like to say. So it did start to bring out more of a arrogant, cocky person that isn't necessarily me. My girlfriend, you know, really reminded me of that, saying, look, you know, pack it in a little bit here because this isn't you. we didn't agree to this for you to turn out like that. And so it hit home for me. I was like, fuck. Because it does change you. Let's be honest, it does change you. You know, you are going to change whilst using that sort of stuff. It does make you feel great. And then, of course, I came back to reality now, and I see perspectives a lot more now that I've taken that step back. So, yeah, it's been really important for me to do that. And I've been a bit of a twat, I must admit, to my partner and our relationship. And I've really tried to give back over the past month or so now with that.
Yeah, no, cool. Yeah, because I often I at times struggle with my partner too, with my workload and things like that as well. Because to be honest, man, when you I'm sure you're the same when you get into the coaching kind of realm as well, it becomes like your life to a point where like it's all I think about, man. Yeah, like
absolutely.
And like everything.
When I went to Dubai at Christmas, and it was the first time I've ever taken any time off from working. You know, as someone who's self-employed, you work every day. You know, the amount you work is the amount it dictates how much you get paid, right? So if you don't work, you don't get paid. So for me, massively struggled to take any time off because I felt like I wasn't working. I felt like I'm going to lose clients. I felt like I'm going to lose out on earning money. And, you know, I think one of the biggest things that I did was I took 7 to 10 days off where I did no checking. I did WhatsApp replies. I didn't completely come off the radar, but I did no check-ins or any video response. And first time in 4 years I did that. And I wish I did it earlier. Honestly, I felt incredibly guilty. I'm like, people are paying me and I'm fucking not working. But a lot of people were very supportive. I was very apprehensive and nervous to say I'm taking this time off. But a lot of people were very understanding in that sense, which was good. So definitely burnt out from the working aspect of things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I get you. Was Banus the only time in your life where you felt like you really need to push the gear up?
Oh, you walk in there, you can smell it in the air.
I was watching your stuff just before I went, and I remember you literally said something along those lines.
Yeah, you can.
And then honestly, I got there, and I'm getting there with my t-shirt. I'm like, just pulling the sleeves down. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, everyone on there is girls, boys, whoever, they're all on it. Kids, they're all in there. I tell you, it's you can smell like. You know, I've been around people that are sweating on gear and using train and stuff like that. They stink. Let's be honest, they will stink. You you walk in there, it's a hot place. You know, you're gonna smell it, and I mean, I must admit, I was like, fucking hell, like, especially when I watched. This might piss a few people off. Some people train like fucking shit. I look at them, and think, really? You like that? And you look like that? How the fuck are you doing that?
Man, that's most people.
I could legit imagine that.
The best looking guy in there was sitting there doing the side chest like this, and he's doing your flies like this, and I'm just looking at him. I'm just thinking, fuck me, like, and he looks like that, like,
and I'm here fucking trying to break literally records for myself, and I'm looking like shit. You know, I think, what's the point? I might as well start training like that. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It did piss me off when I went there, and I now scroll through their Instagram because I recognise a few faces after training there. I just think, fucking hell, like,
you're not the only one.
Yeah, some of the PTs as well. I'm like, how are you doing that with her? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
It's a funny old place. Good gym.
It's amazing.
It is most gyms.
See people training and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I just don't get it. If I train like that, I look fucking horrendous, you know?
What about the 199 AED to get in?
Luckily, the missus knew someone beforehand because she already been to Dubai. Like I said, parents live out there. She visited. She knows a guy that works there, so she kind of gave him a look, and he gave us half price for the week in terms of weekly pass. So it was a little bit cheaper than what it was originally, but it's very expensive for sure.
Yeah.
but when you're out there, you know, when I was out there for the first time, I didn't really care how much I spent. Really, you know, it's one of
I
those
didn't
ones
care
where
either.
just wanted to enjoy it. You know, just wanted to enjoy the time. Went up to they have like a little upstairs where you can buy a bit of food. I had a bit of food up there. It's lovely. Loved it. Yeah, loved
Yeah. Even the food upstairs was expensive.
Yeah, it's just Dubai in general is expensive. You know, it's like London prices, I would say.
Yeah, because
London
Melbourne's like that too. Melbourne, like it's expensive here. Yeah. So everyone was like, "Oh, Dubai's so expensive," and it's like it's probably the same as home. The difference is I travel to Asia usually. So when I went to Dubai, it was like, damn, this is not Bali prices. Like this is nuts. Like like I just paid $80 to get into a gym. Like I just paid $43 for prawns and rice. Like because you go to restaurants and stuff and it's pretty alright. It's pretty normal. Like I was paying like 40, 50 AUD for a meal, which here like you wouldn't even get a good meal for 40 AUD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I at the time I had to, I think it's like in terms of like UK prices, I think it's like 4 or 5 times the actual conversion. And I was looking at like 68 AED to me was like, I don't even know what that is. And so when I looked at my Revolut app and I saw how much I paid, I'm like, fuck it now, transfer more money into it because I thought,
that's exactly
yeah. Have you got any other travel plans or anything like that organized?
You know what, boys? I do love traveling, but at the same time, I'm a sucker for the routine that I live. Like I have a couple days off like routine, and I'm itching to get back into my usual routine. I'm a sucker for it. Don't get me wrong, I can do what I do right now in any place that anywhere I can. Dubai, went to Rome in January. You know, I can go to anywhere, but I'm just a sucker for the same gym, the same sort of time, same foods. I'm basically like Kuba as well. Realistically, Kuba's very much regimented to the dot. If I could live a life like that, obviously I do. I wouldn't change it for the world. So no, not right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to keep it quiet for a bit. Keep my head down here, and as much as I love traveling and stuff like that, it does take away from time with business and stuff like that, and it's more expensive as well at the same time. And sometimes you need to be honest with yourself and say, look, okay, it's great spending this money, but at the same time, you know, you're not earning more. You know, it's not up over time. So it can only happen once in a blue moon.
I feel like it just really depends as well. I feel like as a bodybuilder, routine is everything. If you don't have routine, you fucking lose your mind. Like I have 2 days off, 3 days off, and I'm sort of like, I'll literally, like this weekend we had like a long weekend, so we had like bank holiday, and it was like the Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It was like I came back on Monday, and I was like, even yesterday I was back to routine. I was sort of like, nah, I can't do it because it's like it's not the start of the week. It's not like, and I felt so even now, like I haven't even had a proper like, I don't know, I just can't do it. I feel like once you lose that routine for a couple of days, it fucking ruins you. Until you
I don't know if you boys agree with me, but it's quite sad how, like, for example, at the moment I'm deloaded. I'm going to take 4 days off. It's quite sad how I'm sitting here like I'm actually completely lost about this. And
that was I took 4 days off last week because I got the flu, so I didn't train Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yeah, man, that's pretty much. You just feel I felt like more so like my food went out the window, my motivation went out the window, like
it's just
completely.
You just feel structure. Like obviously there's way more to life than what we're doing right now, but I feel so lost about it. Like
it keeps you sane. Like, I feel
what do I do?
No, I'm sore as fuck right now.
It keeps you in check.
I don't know. What do I do in my time? You know, it's a sad life, but I wouldn't change for the world.
I know. With travel, what I do is I try to drag. So like obviously originally I was doing shorter trips, but now that it's mostly online, I just try to do longer trips. Like longer trips is in like I wouldn't really spend less than 2 weeks in one place, and I just get there and I set up everything like I would at home. Do you know what I mean? So I get there, I do all the food, I do all my supplements, I do all my office, everything like that, and then like good to go. And usually in most countries you're pretty good for that. Obviously Asia's quite easy for it because, well, one, you can buy stuff over the counter, and two, like everything's cheap. So like if you just need, like I could get my food delivered all day if I wanted to. Yeah, because we did Bali for 8 weeks, and That worked. I reckon I worked better there than I do here.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It looks
the
like
thing
it's
that
working online.
yeah. The good thing about it though was I had like a 3 hour buffer because it's like they're 3 hours. We're 3 hours ahead here in Australia. So when I was there, I'd wake up at 5, 6 o'clock. If I woke up at 8 o'clock, all the check-ins were there, ready to go. You know what I mean? Yeah.
How
If I had
far
to
is
do
Bali from
5 hours,
Australia?
5 hours.
Too bad.
Mm.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's great, but at the same time, you've got Spain, so I don't know what I'd prefer. Yeah.
See, I'm not a big fan, I'd
Yeah.
much rather, I've never been over to your part of the world, but
Yeah.
that's the sort of trip I want to take because that's going to be completely different for sure.
Yeah.
A bit bored of Europe. Europe isn't, it's not
Mm.
great for me. Not
It's
great.
so fun. It's so funny that you say that you say you're bored of Europe, and every fucking man and his dog that I know is going to Europe in July from here.
It's not.
Man,
I
because
find with being in Europe is like probably 10 years, sometimes 15 years behind the UK. So it's like going back in time when I go to Europe, if you know what I mean. I don't like that. I'm more of Dubai. Like Dubai is like 10 years ahead of us. America's
10.
always. I went to New
10 is
York when I was 5 years ago, whatever it was. And they're so ahead of us in terms of what's going on out there, so ahead. I love all that sort of stuff. Don't like being behind.
I feel like we're probably a bit like you guys. We're probably a little bit more ahead though, I reckon.
Yeah. I don't know. I've
than
never
England. We're not more ahead. No way, we're more ahead than England.
Yeah, reckon?
No way. We didn't even have electric car. We didn't even have electric charging stations.
That's true as well, actually.
Yeah, I think
if you want an electric car here, you got to search for the charge. You got to search for your charging station, and you got to hope there's one within 30 k's. Yeah.
UK, you're going to go to every service station. There's going to be one there. Most in any car park you go to, you'll find one. There's so many electric cars now, way more than what even last year. It's changing quickly. Actually, thinking about it.
Yeah. But no, everyone from here from here just travels to Europe because I think it's just because it's so far away. It's like it's this huge trip, which is awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's looked at as like the holy grail of traveling when realistically, I've traveled a lot. Yeah. I prefer Asia to Europe. Asia's ahead of Europe. There's more cultural differences. There's better food. There's more to do. Like I would pick that every day of the week. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it's not 24 hours on a plane. Yeah.
It's not $24,000 to do 6 weeks. So
yeah.
The longest I've been on a plane is for 7 hours, and that was dreadful.
Yeah.
My lower back was fucked. Lower back was in bits.
When I did Dubai, I did 24 because I stopped in India, and that was a regret. Sleeping on the floor in an Indian airport is not what you want to be doing. Yeah. I had to do that because it was cheaper, way cheaper.
Yeah, of course, I understand that.
Because I booked it last minute. And it was like going to be $5,000 to just go direct, and I was like, I'm not paying that.
Yeah,
because it was the World Cup that stuffed it.
Yes.
Because you would have been about the same.
Yeah, it was way more expensive when I went at Christmas than what it was if I booked for summer.
Do you like? I know we spoke about this before we started, but do you genuinely think you would potentially move to Dubai?
Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah.
I can see myself out there. I can see why people do it, if I'm honest with you, since experiencing it myself. You see a lot of obviously what people do, what we do, doing the exact same out there. I think it's there, it's motivating. There's a lot of, I get motivated by like a lot of wealth. Like when I see someone rich or driving a nice car, the first thing I think in my head is like, what are they doing? What do they know that I don't know? That's how I think in my head. I'm not like, nice car. Like I'm motivated by this person that is driving that car, for example. So being out in Dubai is here, there, everywhere, people just casually driving like 18, 19. You think, how are they doing that? What are they doing? So for me, environment is really key. Sun as well. Obviously, I know you get a lot of sun out here, but here right now, shock, it's raining.
I think you're this happens with everyone. I think you are not estimating where we're from in Australia. Melbourne's the same as England.
Is it?
Because everyone from
we don't get to like negative degrees. Like
we don't snow, which is terrible. It just pisses down rain.
Yeah.
No, because everyone thinks, oh, what? Like I had a guy yesterday say to me, "What do you
Everyone
mean?
thinks
What do you mean it's
Queensland.
cold there?" Yeah, Queensland is like the Gold Coast. That's where the weather's nice. Here, it's like it's middle of summer, man, and it's like 15 degrees right now.
Nah, we're out of summer now.
Well, fucking
15 days out.
Oh, it's actually nice this week.
Yeah, this week's like 25, 30.
But like fucking December's midsummer, and I think December was like 15
it was
degrees.
raining.
On,
Yeah,
like,
it
the
was
20th.
raining. It
Yeah,
was raining in summer this year.
yeah,
That's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it'd be hotter than that.
yeah.
Nah, if you're gonna go anywhere in Australia, you go to Queensland.
You go north,
Like the Gold Coast.
Interesting, yeah.
big country.
Yeah, I need weather. I used to be dead against I don't like the sun, but I now love it. I need sun. Everyone's got a bit of sun. Have that all day.
Yeah. Because I remember I was watching one of your videos the other week, and you were saying how it was like dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better now, but it used to get dark about 4 o'clock. It's like a whole day gone so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
walking the dogs is pitch black.
Yeah, because my girlfriend wanted to. She's like, "Oh, we'll go there for." She wanted to go during the winter, like for Christmas, and I'm like, "There is no way I'm doing that." Like we can go in July. We can go in July, but not fucking December.
It's not too bad. It does get fairly warm. Maybe 20s.
Yeah,
maybe.
Warm.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's not too bad. That's the hottest it'll ever get. Really, you never get any hotter than that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, no, don't get me wrong. Here it does get hot. It gets to 35, 40. It does. It's just it's just waves. Yeah, it's not Dubai hot. Dubai's like 45 every day. Not when we went, because you went about the same time as me. It was perfect weather.
Yeah, about 26.
Yeah, I thought that was great because I got there and I was like, "Phew, do I need a jumper?" Yeah, like this is cold. Yeah, and for what it was anyway. Does the YouTube do well in terms of like financially?
Yeah, so in January, when I was doing really well, like obsessed about it, I was probably earning, I don't know how you convert this, probably up to maybe £4,500, which is, I don't know what that is in Australian dollars, but
about 8,000, 8,000.
Yeah, so about that a month off just YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, I can see why it makes you realize, what these big YouTubers who get like 100K plus every single video, you can imagine how much they're earning on a YouTube video, or even people that get millions, crazy. So the potential is there to make a lot of money on that sort of thing. And I think
I always heard that like it got shit how much money you can make off YouTube. But maybe it was maybe it's just in comparison to what it used to be, it got shit.
Yeah, so when I did start out YouTube, I mean, I think the threshold is you have to have 1,000 subscribers to then allow to advertise in your videos, and then you get called, I think it's called Google AdSense, I think it's called, and you have a threshold of money that basically you earn a certain amount. You have to wait till hit that threshold to get that money. So when you first start out, you're not going to get that threshold to about probably 6 months, depending on what your views are, for example. And I remember going through a phase when I was earning more in my first sort of 2 years of YouTube than what I was in my third or fourth year, but I was getting way more views and engagement, in my third or fourth year in comparison to my second year. So it did go to shit for a while. And they're a lot stricter now, YouTube. I have to kind of approve if it's, suited for children or not. A lot of my videos obviously have a lot of swearing in it. So if I swear in the first like 10 to 30 seconds of the video, it's probably going to get limited advertising on it because it's obviously loads of swear words on it. Surprisingly, they've obviously seen my content with me talking about steroids, and they're more than happy to monetize it without any problems at all. Because some of the videos get like 20,000 views in the space of like 24 hours, and they see that as a money opportunity. So they're like, right, okay, this guy's getting this amount of views in the space of 24 hours. It's clearly going to do very well. They're going to make money from me. So they monetize it. So they're all about the money. They don't necessarily care. But if a video does shit, then they'll
money-making business.
Yeah, 100%. Because I was thinking, hang on, I'm sitting here with my syringe and I'm going, this is this, this is that. I'm showing you how to inject gear. And they're like, yeah, fine. I'm like, really? Really? Yeah, it did blow my mind a little bit.
Yeah,
because I heard from so Mike Thurston, obviously Mike Thurston. Everyone knows Mike Thurston. Apparently what he's making from YouTube is like the figures that I've heard are like absurd.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and you can see if you've seen his apartment in Dubai, I'm sure it's It's beautiful. Like it's fucking
Yeah,
huge. Yeah.
would not surprise me at all.
Mm.
Also, the
Yeah.
money is in sponsorships as well. You know, with I've
Yeah.
done like sponsored ads in the past, and they'll pay me maybe £500. I'm not sure that is in Australian. You know,
$1,000, just double it.
Yeah, just double
$1,000
it normally,
for just
roughly.
doing a 30-second clip. You know, it's great. That's
Yeah.
where the money is. So if you get a big
Yeah.
company that like Squarespace or something like that, you know, if they come up and they're the big ones, they are. That's the goal, to get them sort of sponsorships for the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, no, cool. So yeah, probably just one last point really. So with the coaching business, run us through that, how that's gone for you, at the moment.
Yeah, so it's I like to work with I don't necessarily like just to work with competitive bodybuilders. I like to work with variety of different people. I don't like to work with beginners, I'll be honest with you. Like people first started training, what's a macro, what's a carb. I don't want to work with that sort of person, you know, it's not good for me. I like to work, I found kind of my niche at the moment is like maybe 18 to like 21-year-olds who are made that initial progression with their physique, but then they want to take it to that next step. So they've done the 4 sets of 10 to 12. They've gone on bodybuilding.com and they've found this workout. And they've been doing this for the last 6 months and they've made progress because let's be honest, regardless of whatever you do when you first start training, you're going to make progress. And then when they come to me and I look at their plan, I'll be like, you've been doing 4 sets of 10 to 12, training a single body part each week. We're then going to go on to this. So we're going to train muscles twice a week. We're then going to go to more of a higher frequency, low volume approach. And they're like, oh my fucking God, this is amazing. Like, and I'm like, just something completely different that they're not used to, you know, that's then gone from here and up to here. I kind of found that I work with those sort of people, whether it's competitors, whether it's inspiring bodybuilders, inspiring coaches, or whether just people like me as a person, you know, people I've worked with a guy that actually I've been doing this is my 5th year now. He's my first ever client. I've been working with him for nearly 5 years, which is fucking crazy. Week 297 check-in or whatever it is. It's fucking crazy. I forget.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But he stayed by me from day number one. He's still on the same original price that I started off with. I've not changed it one bit, but he's just invested into me. He's just followed my journey as well as me documenting what I do. I don't believe it or not, because I've always been a bit, when I see people talk about coaching all the time on their Instagrams and stuff like that, like that's all they talk about. I've not really had to do that for my business. I've just kind of documented me and people are invested into, right, George is doing this, so I'm going to invest into him. I like what he does.
Yeah.
And the way I've kind of seen it is that if someone's willing to watch a 20-minute YouTube video of me on a daily basis, that's quite a lot of fucking time to be investing into someone. TikTok nowadays, you scroll through, you're judging it within a second if you're watching that TikTok or not. So someone watching my video for 20 minutes straight, that's a massive investment, So and then people are like, I like this guy, I'm going to invest into him because they know a lot about me. So yeah, I feel like a lot of I've not had to be that sort of traditional like online coach. I've got DM me coaching for whatever it is that people do nowadays. That shit. I don't necessarily need to do that.
DM me ready.
Yeah, DM me ready. Like, I used to see Dorian Yates do it, and I was thinking, really? And I then realized that it was someone else controlling his Instagram. So you weren't actually being coached by Dorian. It was just someone doing it for him. And it's just like, no, if I was like that, I'd want to be coached by the main man himself, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck's that, you know? Yeah.
Have you got any other business ventures in the works, or
we have a few
guns for the time being?
I'm going to keep it on the quiet at the moment, but what we're really trying to focus on, me and my partner. My partner's a doctor, so we're really trying to find like a niche in the market with like you know, a lot about the anabolic steroid side of things. I feel like there's a lot that we can provide in terms of she's very smart, you know, with her medicine background. She knows a lot, so I feel like there's a lot of things, even with females as well, and even talking about PED usage with females. You know, there's not many people that do that at this current point. So we're working together to try and bring something out that's going to provide like a whole system for everything. So your PED usage, your training, your nutrition, male or female, whatever it is, we're going to find that gap in the market, and we're going to really try and take over things. Because we've got me, I'm going to be the bodybuilding side of things, and my missus, she trains, she's you know, she's very much into it just as much as me. But then you've got a doctor that is not necessarily reading because over here we have the NHS. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yeah.
If I go to the doctors right now, the NHS doctor, and I say, look, I'm taking steroids. This is the problem that I've got. The first thing they'll say to me, stop taking steroids.
Yeah.
We all know it's not as easy as that. If there's a professional bodybuilder saying, a doctor's telling them to stop taking steroids, they can't just do that. They make a living from bodybuilding. What we're trying to find is actually, right, how can we do this, but how can we make it a safer way to limit the problems? And that's where she comes in with her knowledge and her expertise. Saying, you can do this, but this is what you also need to do as well. And that's that's a market that hasn't been, in my opinion, that needs to be dived into a little bit more at the moment. Don't get me wrong, it's growing, but there's some points that I'm like, right, that needs to be spoken about more. And I've certainly found myself like I'm not in a position to coach anyone when it comes to anabolics yet. But one thing I've certainly noticed is a lot of people have inquired to me about coaching who want to start their first cycle. And I'm not here to tell people what to do in terms of all of that, but I do want to be a person that tells them, look, actually, the 400, 300 mega test that someone's told you start on, let's not do that. Let's actually try a different route and try maybe go down the route that I went potentially. Obviously, it's a bit different for me. I was coming out of a contest prep, but you'll be surprised with actually what you can do. I think I found a niche for that as well. And that's one thing that I want to try and get into myself. But I need to learn way more before I start educating people. I'm not in a position.
I feel like as well as as coaches, I'm sure you may be able to resonate with this. I think it's good for you to sort of be looking into a business venture which is not directly related to working with like coaching. Because I find for me, like, especially now that I'm coaching more clients, like I've sort of realized, okay, I do want to eventually work on something else, which is a little bit more detached. The only reason I say that is because as I'm handling more, and then as I have coaches and things like that under me, because you're dealing with so many individuals, like it becomes very consuming. So for me, like to be fair with you, my long-term goal would be more to like probably pull down eventually the clientele down to about half, and then have a business on the side, which is not that it's not related to the people, but just not so attached in like to their emotions. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'll be honest. I massively agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Coaching, it does take up a lot of time. It does take a lot of time. And do I really want to be doing that when I'm like 50, 60? Not really, no. I want to be on the beach chilling, and I want to be making money elsewhere. And I certainly feel like I always will be coaching, but I find that I could probably, if I took away, for example, 15, 20 clients, or even on a weekly basis, that frees up so much time where if I get this thing, which is probably going to be slow to begin with, eventually further down the line, if it does pick up, that is going to be a lot easier to manage. I'm going to make way more money off that than what I would when I'm allocating 10, 15-minute check-ins to each client every single week, having to do this and having to do that. So it's all about kind of working hard, but working smart at the same time, if you know what I mean? And finding other ways to be smart with your mind and have that multiple streams of income, One thing that I've learned with what I do is that, don't get me wrong, the coaching is great, but if I'm the main person of the business, if I'm not here tomorrow, then fucking, it's not going to keep working. It's not going to keep money. So you need to find multiple streams with supplement sponsorships, YouTube, coaching, other ventures, merchandise, that sort of stuff. And if people invest into you, people will buy whatever. It might be the shittest quality in the whole wide world, but people will buy it because it's you. Investing into you. I could bring out a top that says cunt on it, and it could be the worst quality in the whole world, but I guarantee you 100 people will buy it. Yeah.
No, that's exactly what you mean.
And that's easy to do that, So I'll get someone else to do that for me, pay someone, and you should at the beach making money. So that's kind of my goals with that, for sure.
Because like I don't think I'll ever not coach, but I definitely don't want to coach the volume that I am now down the line. Just because not because I don't enjoy it, more because, like I said before, like emotionally and mentally, it's very consuming. I'm sure like that's the hardest thing for me. Like for me, like for example, I'll be in bed and I'll even think like, fuck, I replied to that guy before, but like, is that message comforting enough? Like, or like, fuck, I sort of half-assed that check-in a little bit. Or like, fuck, I wonder how this guy's going. I haven't heard from him in 3 days and he was having problems 3 days ago. But like, I was at a Bucks is like a bachelor party. I don't know what you guys call it. Like last Saturday night, I was fucked. I was pissed. Like it was a big night. and I'm taking a piss, and I had my phone on Do Not Disturb on purpose, and then I just swiped down, and there was like a few messages there, and then all of a sudden my brain just started going like, "Fuck, what are you doing, man? Like, you can't be like this. You're gonna be off the rails tomorrow, like this, that." But like, that's not something that is ideal. I don't think. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
absolutely.
Yeah. Right
Absolutely.
now it's what I do. But right now I'm in a phase where I'm happy to work and grind and give up a couple of years, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
yeah.
I totally resonate with what you said, because when
Mm,
it comes to clients checking and, you know, clients not making progress, you think, why the fuck are they not making progress? And
mm,
it's not just that 10-minute video that you send back to them or however you do it. You then
mm,
I go on a dog walk and I think about this guy and I think, why is he not fucking making progress? It's more than that. And sometimes the guy might be just fucking lying to me. You know, we've all been there before where clients not being honest
mate, I've
and they've
lied.
just
Yeah.
fucking
Mm,
lied.
mm,
And you're sitting there scratching your head going, well, why is this guy not? I've dropped his food. If I drop someone's food, they have to. If you're following the plan, you will drop weight. There's no way in
yeah.
hell. Obviously there might be other variables, but for most people, if you drop food, you're going to lose weight, and they're not losing weight. And all of a sudden,
Mm,
oh, by the way, I've fucking done this, I've done that. You know, it's so much more. And I'm thinking, I've thought about this for fucking hours
mm,
and done this, done that, and you've just
mm,
lied to me. You know, it's
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Mm,
And I can't. I
yeah.
look at my phone before I go to bed. Like I've looked at it now. It's pinged off a few times when we've done this, and I'm gone. Oh, I'll have a look. What's that? You
Mm,
know,
mm,
it's. I'm on edge.
yeah.
I'm like, I can't go to sleep knowing that I've got
Yeah.
text, because
I'm the exact same. Yeah.
if I was paying someone, I'd want
Mm,
to reply. You know, that's how I'd
yeah.
think.
Exactly the
Yeah,
same. Yeah, exactly the same.
yeah,
Yeah, because I go through the exact same thing with my coaches. So like, yeah, admittedly, my coach at the moment, he's right on it. Like, it's great, but I've never had that in the past.
Mm.
Yeah, usually it's like fucking stretch, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want someone to be in that position either.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Obviously, you got to
I
pick
agree.
your battles. You know which messages you can sort of just leave for a bit, and the ones you can't. You know which
Yeah,
people as well. Like I know the guys that if I don't reply to them
They're not going to care.
straight away, they're just not going to even bat an eye. And I know other
Yeah.
guys who, if I don't reply to them for a few hours and I've got it on red
Yeah.
receipts, they're going to be like, fucking this cunt. Like, what's he doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know who needs more attention compared to
Yeah.
others. Like the guy that I've been nearly working with for 5 years, I don't need to send him a 20-minute fucking check-in video back. I've
Yeah.
known him for 5 years. I know him inside out. It's like when someone cuts your hair. If someone's cutting your hair like every single week, the same guy, he's going to do it a lot quicker, right? You know, because he knows how to cut your hair, he knows how to
Yeah.
style it. It's not going to take
Yeah.
him an hour and a half to do it every
Yeah.
single time.
Mhm.
And when you first work with them, maybe, but further down the line, you're doing it much more efficiently, right? As you
Yeah.
become more knowledgeable, you should be able to cross this data a lot more efficiently. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those ones.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, man, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Boys, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
It's a pleasure, because sometimes I feel like when I waffle, I can waffle for England basically, and
Yeah.
it's nice to these sort of things that I can just talk and be myself. And the fact that you boys are over in Australia as well, and you follow me, and I massively appreciate that. It's fucking
Yeah.
I still blows my mind. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What
Man,
the fuck?
we love your content. Like, yeah.
Crazy. I did have
I get into bed. I'm sitting there fucking with my glasses on, fucking all sitting back and just yep, chuck on George. Yeah. It's
I didn't
entertaining.
realize
Yeah.
I've got quite a few Aussie clients, to be fair, and I've got Australian like base of like followers is quite high. It's higher than what I thought my videos would travel out to, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's that far, but it's crazy what social media and YouTube, it's crazy what it can do. The power of that, you know. It's fucking crazy. I'm watching all the way over, you know, fucking nearly a day ahead of us away, you know. It blows my mind. I appreciate it a lot, boys.
Yeah, no,
Appreciate
thank you.
on, man.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll be in touch.
Enjoy your sleep.
All right.
Appreciate it, boys.
No,
Thanks, man.
Georgie.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good.